Welcome back to Dagryffyn Hobby. My name's Dave, and this weekend was the York Train Show. I was not there all 3 days, but at least I was there 2, which is a lot better than last time when I was only there for 1 day, which including a total of like 7 hours in the car, that was a rough day. I spent Thursday hanging out with Nick from Nick's Crossing and Sean from Sean's Train Depot. We had a fantastic time, saw a lot of people, just enjoyed the show. I'm always so overwhelmed by the amount of trains at shows like this that it makes it really hard for me to focus even a little bit, and I just have a hard time even seeing the stuff that's in front of me. So I walked around, and in between talking to people and talking to the guys, I took some pictures of stuff that I was interested in. Show was definitely a little smaller than the last time I was in New York, so I don't know if the October show is usually bigger, but either way, there was still more than you can see in one day. I spent Friday as we were walking around trying to figure out what my goal was for the show. Was I going to spend my budget $5 at a time and see how much junk I could bring home, or was I going to go for one engine that I wouldn't normally go for? There were certainly a number of newer to me engines that I could have gone for. I just wasn't ready to make the leap. Then I'm looking at post-war or MPC era engines, and I'm realizing that a lot of them are very similar, if not the same, as a lot of the engines I already have. So then I was like, you know what? I need to get something I'm comfortable purchasing, but it needs to be different. I can't just get another steamer that looks the same as the others, just in a different color. I didn't commit to anything on Friday. Well, that's not true. I bought one thing on Friday. I bought this Corgi Bus. This is the Lionel city bus. Now, I thought I was buying a public service bus. Public service being the origin of my logo. And I honestly don't know if I put the public service bus down and picked this one up by accident, or what the deal is, or I'm just misremembering it. I don't really know, but either way, I've already got a public service bus, so I'm okay. And a Lionel City one, I think that's kind of neat. I like the colors, and it was pretty cheap. So Saturday, I went back, I was by myself, so I was a little bit more able to focus on what I was looking for. And unfortunately, a lot of people seem to be cleaning up by 11 o'clock and packing their stuff up, which I found to be very disappointing, because I know there was more stuff I could have seen had they not been packing up already. The show doesn't end until 3, but it seemed over by noon. I think I hit all the halls and was really just looking for something that grabbed me and felt a little different than what I already had. I almost came home with a set of Pennsylvania shark noses, but I was intrigued and interested, but I just wasn't feeling it. I don't know. I also came across a K-Line Pennsylvania Railroad interurban car. I was going to get that and the shark noses, but if I had one Pennsylvania interurban car, I would end up wanting more, and then I would be forever looking for that exact one as a dummy, and it just seemed like a headache I didn't need. As far as an interurban type car, I have a Bud RDC that belonged to my uncle, so if I need any sort of interurban car, I can use that.
What did I get today?
I got these three. What are they? Let's check it out. Now these three were all at one table. He had these two engines marked at 125. And I'm thinking, I have roughly $200 to spend. What else does he have on the table? And this engine was on the table also listed at 120. So I took a long shot and I said, hey, will you take 200 for all this? And he didn't really want to take it, and he's thinking, and he's like, well, I'll take 225. And I said, well, I'd like to give you 225, but I don't have it. I think I had $211. So he wanted to sell it, I wanted to buy it, a deal was made. This is an engine that I don't necessarily need, but I keep seeing it and I'm intrigued by it. And there's paperwork in the box that fell on the floor. So since it keeps just grabbing my attention whenever I see one, I figured, what the heck, buy it, see how it turns out. Now, being that it was late in the day and people were packing up and I was exhausted, I didn't even take this out of the box to look at it. He seemed like a trustworthy guy. He seemed like a collector that had stuff and he was trying to sell it. And I figured he was my kind of guy. So I decided to just, you know what, just trust the guy that it's all good and hope for the best. Because really, what else can you do? So what is it? It's a Pennsylvania Railroad Little Joe. It's just a neat looking engine. Does it work? Let's find out. Lights up. Check the E unit. It runs, it lights, changes direction. I think it's a pretty neat looking engine. It probably needs a cleaning. It was a little shaky there. It's a little low on detail, like the number boards are empty. But that's what I would expect from the era that this was made. If it bothers me, I can always put some numbers there. I'll probably never think about it again. I'm glad it works. That's always a nice surprise. Maybe at some point I'll get into detailing and add some details to these more basic engines. That'd be interesting. Will I ever do it? I don't know. This other set is a powered and dummy set of a GP20. And they are also suffering from lack of detail. What is it? Long Island GP20s. Yes, it's got the dreaded plastic gears. Maybe it will work, maybe it won't. They're very basic engines. It could really say any name there, it probably wouldn't matter all that much. But it says Long Island, and that works for me. Maybe I'll run them with my Long Island passenger cars. Let's see if this one works. It's trying. It's struggling a little. The lights are out on the dummy, but that is fixable. Unfortunately, it's only a single motor, so who knows if it'll pull anything. It's an engine. It works-ish. These are some decently heavy cars that I've got behind it right now. I took off some of the heavier cars and replaced them with a little bit lighter cars. So let's see if that makes a difference. So they work. That's always a nice surprise, especially when you don't check them out fully when you're buying them. We could argue about the lack of detailing, lack of features, lack of realism, but you can't argue the budget. I got the set of GP20s and the little Joe Electric and a bus and entrance to the show, all for under $300, which is probably more than I wanted to spend, and definitely a lot more than if I had just done a $20 train show challenge. But this show's just too big to do a $20 challenge. That's more fun at the smaller shows. So in my opinion, that was a successful train show visit. The engine's gonna need a little service, maybe some detail work, maybe not. A little cleaning, some new traction tires, some good lubricating, and hopefully I don't damage the plastic gears in there. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna have fun running them. I think as far as my goal for the show, I came home with two different types of engines that I don't have. I've been wanting something like a GP20, GP9, something like that for quite a while. So finding these two, I'm happy. I like them. I look forward to running them. Now I can stop fixating on this little Joe every time I see one. I've got one. Is it perfect? Doesn't matter. I think after a service and some new traction tires, that will do pretty well. But it's a pretty quiet running, decently strong puller for an MPC era engine with one motor. Both of the engines would definitely benefit from dual motors, but they were not top of the line. But they're not bottom of the line either. So when you're doing a railroad on a budget, it's a good place to be. Variety without breaking the bank. The York Train Show. As far as I'm concerned, always worth it. Is it smaller, less this, less that? I don't know. Doesn't matter to me. It's a train show. I enjoyed going, spent some great time with friends, and came home with new trains. So it's a win. Also, on the way home, I detoured to go to the Red Caboose Motel and happened to see, I think it was 90 roll by, and also Thomas, since apparently this was a day out with Thomas weekend. I visited the National Toy Train Museum as a TCA member. You get in there for free. They've got some very neat stuff in there and operating layouts that are very cool. I had some dinner at Casey Jones, which is always fun to do. Was there anything else? Took a nap in the parking lot because I was too tired to drive home. And that's about it. But I think I squeezed a lot of fun into 2 days. I'm thankful I did it, and I'm looking forward to the next time. So if I didn't see you at the York Train Show this time, hopefully I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Dagryffyn Hobby.